Royal, how are you doing today? Royal says first. Wasif, my man, how are you doing? The Cobra, Nene. Omni Slash is here. How was your guys' weekend? Mine was fantastic, man. Gigi Buffo, how you doing? I'm gonna just jump into the project and start working right from the get. You guys will trickle in. It's good to see you guys again. I'm glad you survived the weekend. GG asks, is it possible to do a multiplayer game? Yeah, it is. If you know some PHP, you can make it happen. I mean, you don't have to do it in PHP. You can do it in maybe Node.js, JS Node. Basically, you'll set up your Node.js. Control C or something. Here it is. Let's go like this. What am I looking for? You'll set up a server and run it with Node.js, and then you'll have to make a plugin, and you use that plugin inside of, what is it at? You'll put the plugin in here, in your plugin manager, and the plugin manager will connect to the host that you're running through like PowerShell. And as long as the server's running and all the code works, you'll have to learn how to send data through packets. And it's an interesting thing, sending data through packets. I was looking at this a little while ago, and you store all kinds of data in like one packet, and then you send one packet. And you have to have a method of saving it to the packet, and then you have to have the inverse, or like the opposite of reading it from the packet. So I can save every account progress of the players. It isn't hard, right? No, it's very hard. It's very difficult to get it set up right. And how to stop hackers? Well, you basically can't stop hackers. I mean, it's impossible to fully stop hackers. You can like make it harder for them by encrypting the packets and doing other things to the data, and making it so that everyone has their own account, and then they have to log into an account so the data is stored on the server. And you have to host a server. You have to pay, like there's hosting. Let me see if I can find a link for you. Amazon hosting. Server hosting. It's not gonna be cheap. Let's see, these are all ads. For a personal website, it's not that hard. You're not trying to get a personal website hosting. You want like some sort of server. Anyway, I can't find the exact thing you would want for a server without doing a lot of research into it. How much time do you work for the server? Well, I mean, I can't say. It depends on like what features you want to put in, how good of a program you are, how fast you are at finding answers to problems, researching. Yeah, you need a server manager. Well, you'll become the server manager, right? You can't, for an RPG Maker in multiplayer game, you're not going to pay someone to manage a server. You're going to learn how to do it and do it yourself, or you're not going to have one. You need to have the server hosted, probably Amazon, or, I mean, there's several. You can get HostGator, but they're going to overcharge you probably. I have my website through HostGator, but I overpay, for sure. And I do it all myself. They just host it. I pay for the domain name and I pay for the hosting, and that's it. What is this, an RPG Maker MMO? Ahmed, this is not an MMO, but GG Bafo asked about how to make it multiplayer, and I'm like, yeah, you can. It's not impossible. It's just going to be a lot of extra work. And I don't know how stable it would even be. I don't recommend it, to be honest. If you want to do an MMO, use Game Maker, you know? With Game Maker, you can do it without having... You still don't, you know what? With Game Maker Studio 2, you still want to host... You still want to use Node.js or some other server. Because it has terrible server code. Like, it's good code, but, like, it doesn't... It's susceptible to the same problems. Not optimized. If you use Node.js or some other type of structure, library, for your server, like third-party, you know, and then you just host the game, you create the executable client from Game Maker Studio 2. Unreal's good, but I've never used it, so I can't tell you for sure. I've used Unity. Unity uses C#, and Unreal uses C++, so it's more ground level. Heartless, welcome back. How are you? How was your weekend? Loxin, how are you doing? How's your game coming? Anyway, that's my little talk on MMO RPG Maker. I don't recommend it. It's possible, but it's very susceptible to crashes, optimization errors, packet sending, you know, like people changing the data. It's easy to hack. Whoa. Whoa. Chill out, song. Heartless, you overdid it with your game making. You got a new awesome fight scene done? That's cool. GIF it and put it in the Discord. Alright, in today's live stream, I'd like to do two things. I know I said I was going to be done with this, but we didn't actually finish the skills, did we? For our latest enemy, the Chimera. Plus, we need to make a secondary item for a lot of these. However, bro, I'm making a project in RPG Maker with my friends. I'm also a DJ producer from Italy. Do you have some project or you are free? I don't know what you mean by that. I have a free game if you want to check it out. I'll put a link in the chat. driftwoodgaming.com/games, and you'll see that's my website where you can download Legend of Driftwood version 1.04 for free. If you play it on the server, like if you play it on the website, You're going to play the version 1.02 version. That's the hard version. If you download it, you'll play the 1.04 version. It's the more speedrunner friendly version. You can beat that version in like 35 minutes if you are speedrunning it. If you do the entire thing, it'll take you a few hours, 2 to 3 hours. Starting the Monday off right, shameless self-promotion. Hey, there's no ads on my website. My website makes me no money. It's absolutely... In the game, I'm giving it away for free, so, I mean, yeah, it's publicity, but it's a selfless publicity, right? I'm not getting anything out of that. I'm just offering a game at a place where people can download it. My website is ad-free. Maybe that's not true because I have an affiliate link in the sidebar, but you have to click on the sidebar to see it. And then I do affiliate links at the bottom if you check out what gear I'm using. So I guess that's not true. There are some ads, but I never received a single affiliate check. So they're not really that big a deal. Oh, you mean if I'm working on some project or I have free time? Well, I am working on a project right here. When I'm not chatting with you guys in live. When I'm not just talking, I'm actually working on it. Let's do something easy. Let's figure out our secondary drop items for these other creatures that don't have them yet. Haunting Memory, the Vile Worm, the Cave Fox, Warpian, Tonal Rat, Shadow Bat, and we already did the Spider and the Chimerica. So let's start at the top and make some secondary items. These will be 1 out of 10, so 10% chance to drop these particular items. Let's do something kind of different. What about, it's a Haunting Memory, it's a ghost. So let's have him drop a memory fragment. Something like that. And we'll take the same text that we use for most of the other items. We'll say can be sold or used to craft items. Since this is level 1, we'll make it the same price. A terrible thought is stored within. Not consumable, never usable, no scope, regular item. Cool. We'll go to enemies and assign that as the 1 out of 10 drop. Yeah, I also do live tutorials in these live streams. So I'm not going to get every question, but I do field them. How do I set up a reputation system in RPG? Reputation system, isn't there a plugin for that? I mean, I suppose you can just do a system on your own. Lots of variables, that's right. You make a common event and call it rep system, right? And then you have, it also depends on the narrative of your game. Is it like where one player takes, you have like your main hero and the player takes the role of that main hero and makes all the decisions? It really depends on how, a lot of variables, as well as manipulating a lot of variables. Let's just give an example. If you are like a main protagonist and you kind of take the role of that character in a typical JRPG style, then you would have reputation with all of the other people, and it'd be a simple reputation system, right? Not their reputations with each other and It's just you and your reputation with all the other characters. And let's make it simple. Let's say you have like 5 other characters in your game. So you would need a reputation for each one of those characters, a value, a variable that we're storing. And you can set it up manually so that you'll show the player choices, and what the player says will give you add to a variable, but also subtract to a different variable. So say if we added something to Marcia, we would start the game and you do some sort of initialization event. I mean, this is not the full system, this is a very rough idea, right? You'd control variables and you would set it up so that like you have like you would set up an initialization event where you would have a variable setting to 0 for every one of your heroes. And then throughout the game you would show choices, and depending on what the player said, you would just manipulate these and say, well, you said something nice to Marcia, so you get 10 reputation with her, but because like maybe Clara doesn't like what you said, so that's going to subtract 5 from Clara's reputation because you said something nice to Marcia, but it contradicts what Clara stands for. So you kind of go with like this, and this will be a small change, and you can represent that inside the text as well. And then throughout the game, you can use Yanfly's show actor variables. That's a plugin. Let me get you a link for it. Yanfly.mo/yep. And then we go to here, right? And when we're here, we press Control F and we type in actor, and there's 38 of them. I'm sure we'll find it eventually. What if we go show actor? Nope. What if we say actor var? There it is. This is the one. So you take this link. This is going in the chat. You take that plugin, you watch it to learn how to use it. Pretty easy, straightforward. Save this file, put it in your IMG or your JS plugins folder. And then you can show an icon of the character and also the name, right? And then show the player's variable. You can even start them all like at 50, and then if they get to 100, that's good, and if they go down to 0, that's bad. And you can also do a Marcia, you suck. Variable Marcia likeness goes down by 10. Clara variable goes up by 5. I guess. Depends on how good your writing is to make that system fun, right? After all, it's a game and you want it to be fun. But that's the general idea. You could always clamp them too. Like you can have a parallel process event that's turned on by a switch at the beginning of the game. And you can call this like reputation clamp, and this will be a simple conditional that will check to see if the variable Marcia is less than equal to -1. Then you can say control variable set Marcia's variable to 0, right? So it doesn't go negative. Or maybe you want it to have negative. You can change this. But then you'll take the same thing and you can make this say if it's greater than equal to 101, then you can set it to 100. So it can only go to 100 between 0 and 100. And this will always be running if it ever goes off. Or you can save yourself the parallel process. Actually, you don't want to do it like this. Don't put it in a parallel. Put it on the event. Every time you change the variables from the events, so it doesn't always run, doesn't need to always run. I'm just kind of spitballing. You do that whenever it's going to, like if you're awarding and then the numbers go up and below, above 100, below 0, you clamp them then and there using that little piece right there. Alright, anyway. You guys get the idea. How important is an initialization event? What problems would arise if it doesn't exist? It's very important to initialize variables and set up your systems from the get-go. Extremely important. If you don't, then if you reference variables in the damage formula, when you go into combat, all of your damages will do 0. Some events do not work properly just because you're referencing a variable that hasn't been set to something. Now you think all variables should be 0 from the start, right? Yeah, and maybe this has been fixed, but there's times that there's problems that have arisen, problems that have come up, got them, when I don't set variables to 0, or I don't set them to 1, or I don't initialize them at the beginning. So at the beginning of the game, wherever the player is going to be starting, you do your events. This is going to set up the show text, but then the player is teleported here. This is our initialization pretty much. So when the player comes here, we give them the gold, the items, whatever debug stuff you want to have. All of this will probably be gone. Start the player with 1,000 gold or something. And then we have an initialize event over here. And I've even put a comment to say it's a timed initialize. This is going to set up all of your switches and your variables at the beginning. So the global controller's on, player tracker's on, the meat bar timer's on, so our hunger system works. The village buildings are on, the market's open. This is our initialization. If I try to reference in a parallel process meat bar, it could come across a problem if it's not already given a value. Or actually, if I turned on the timer right here without setting this variable to 3600, the player would game over right at the beginning of the game. And it's very easy to do some sort of initialization event. You do it a single time, so you don't use a race event. You'll make an auto run process, and then at the end of it, you turn on a self switch, add a new page, and then on here, you make this not auto run. You make this, action button or player touch, whatever. Just make an action button. Put it out of the way so the player can't interact with it at all, even if the trigger was something different. And set the second page to require self-switching. So you set up all your variable switches, turn on the switch. It happens one time at the beginning of the game, and it never does anything else ever again. And that's it. That makes it so that if you're referencing variables in the damage formula, they don't make your damage formulas, defunct, basically. They don't turn into 0 damage. They'll work as intended. It's really simple, and it's something that you should do in any game. Any engine, you want to set up your initialization. Good question, Royal, good question. Alright, we got our memory fragment. Looking at the next enemy, our vile worm. It already drops a stinger. What else could it drop? What about worm slime? That's interesting. We'll make this green one turn into worm slime. A slimy substance left behind by vile worms. Can be sold or used to craft. It's a level 2 creature, so it'll be 200. Not consumable, never usable, and no scope is necessary. We don't need an animation, so it's fine. Bio slime. I like that. Bio slime. Silver, how you doing? Let's award the enemy the bio slime. 1 out of 10. So we got a 50%, a 10%, and a 1%. What up? It's your boy 115 coming out of the shadows. What's up, Shadow 115? How was your weekend? Alright, moving on to the K Fox. Drops fur. What about if we... Is it too grotesque? Foxtail. And you can make a fox of 9 tails. I'm doing great. My weekend was fantastic. What other items could a fox dropped? I mean, fox paw, tail, fangs. But there's so many other fangs. I don't want to use fang. I'm using fur already. You know what does work for something in real life, but we're not going to put it in the game. Fox pee. It'll keep the squirrels away. We're not going to do that though. Whisker. I like it. Let's do fox whisker. Yeah, that's great. Let's find an icon for that. Dim, dim, dim. I'm gonna use this. Same story. Doesn't need a scope. You get Yanfly classes? No, I'm not gonna use Yanfly classes. I don't think so anyway. The class system is awesome. I've used it in like every other game I've made, so. Let's award the Fox Whisker. I need to see if the sunlight is causing a problem. It is. This is why we can't have nice things. Firefox the browser as an epic rare drop. I should make a boss called the Firefox and it just has the browser logo. That's good, Ahmed. You still don't know how you can change a character's job in game? It's easy. Like, using the plugin or not? What do you mean, Ahmed? Are you using Yanfly's plugin or are you just doing it manually? Because I could show you either way. It's easy. Alright, next one is Vorpion. We already have the Scorpion Stinger, right? We got the Stinger, Scorpion Claw. We can use this again. Scorpion, what is it? What do they have? Pincers? Scorpion pincer. one of the claws. What is this, 400? Yeah, 400. Not consumable, no occasion, no scope. Yeah, I could show you real quick. It's in the help file too, if you're using the plugin. Let's award that item. There we go. Let's make 2 more. Tunnel rat. Already drops a rat tail. So let's see, tunnel rat. What if we make the tunnel rat drop moldy cheese? Where would he get the cheese though, you know? I mean, doesn't need to matter. Omni Slash, how's your therapy going, man? How's life treating you? I bet you can't wait to get back to making some games. My sympathies go to you. I don't know what else to think. I'm running out of ideas. I'll just go. He's gonna have moldy cheese. Don't ask me how the cave rats get moldy cheese. Maybe they sneak into town at night and take it from the villages. Moldy cheese. This could be consumable. We could leave this one as a consumable for 1 ally. We'll make it something different here. How these rats, what did I call them? Cave rats? How these tunnel rats find this, nobody knows. Can be sold or used to craft items. You could also eat it. Question mark? You could also eat it? I'm not gonna say what it'll do. What should the moldy cheese do when the player eats it? Make him trip out? Food poisoning, since it's moldy cheese, yeah. It will cause HP damage. It will cause corrosive, maybe. It'll cause emotional damage if you eat moldy cheese. Oh, that's great. It's gonna deal the player's own reputation, which I'm using magic attack. Or no, a magic defense. Right? Because
Dungeon Mans. I mean, you know, that's kind of, are you playing drums?
Music brought to you by OCRemix.org. It's going to deal damage based on the player's reputation, which is the magic defense times 2, plus 1. Can't critical. It's going to have little variance. Actually, it could have a lot of variance. Sure. 2% chance of bad breath symptoms. Okay. You know what we can do then? Royal Crown Code says, it's a common event that randomly either helps or hurts the player. Mold on cheese can be good sometimes. Think about blue cheese. Alright, so we're going to make it do nothing from here. But we can make it call a common event. We'll make a special common event called moldy cheese. Actually, we can replace it, this one. Nope. There we go, moldy cheese. 45. Let's go to a common events and make moldy cheese common event. You can make any item do a number of things. So you just have the item call, a common event, and then boom, you have a full common event to make the item do whatever you want. We'll control a variable, and we'll just do like a random check. Item randomizer, that's fine. And we'll set it to the same random value as it's used for other things as well, so this doesn't conflict other things by using it at the right time. Random 1 to 100, item randomizer, and then we'll do a conditional branch, checking that variable. If item randomizer is greater than or equal to 50, it'll do something, otherwise it does something else. So there we go. Right, I think this is in the favor of the player by 1% as well. That is, if this is something good and this is something bad. So if the player, the 51% chance, what do we want to happen? The moldy cheese will maybe change state of... You would think the player who ate it, right? But how do we know who eats it? That's a problem there. I wish that there was a way you know what we can do is buff state's core for this. If this is too much work for a block of moldy cheese, if we could turn on a switch here, and if this, or you know what, we could turn on a switch and the damage formula, can't we? And have it add a state. Oh, I know a simple way to avoid all of this. You could do this and make a common event, right? But we don't need to, because I have another way, an easier way. On the item itself, it's just going to have percentages, right? %50 chance of this state, 50% chance of another state, but then there's a chance that they can both be triggered. Huh. It would be cool if you can have more checks, like make conditions inside here, besides doing buffs and states core. Let's look at the buffs and states core help file real quick. I do not know it all or claim to know it all. I just know how to research things. So let's research a little bit in how we can make an item do different things. Dun 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 dun. There we go. So we can have it award a single state 100% of the time, and then we can control what that state does. custom stat buff, custom stat debuff, custom state number of turns, this is the timing, so we can specifically say when we want stuff to happen. That's not going to matter too much, really. Custom action effects. So what do I really want it to do? I guess something simple, right? Just make it so that the player who uses it can either get a buff state or a debuff state. And we can do that with a common event if we had some way to figure out which player used it. We can do a custom establish, and then that lets us use evals to say what we want using JS. Right? Establish means when it's applied. Deselect, establish. This effect will run when the battler connects a hit and after damage execution occurs. This effect will run after custom respond effect has occurred and before everything else. This is just when the thing that is going to happen. When a state is added, so we're looking for apply. So we use custom apply. Starlight says, I'm trying to create a summoning event like the eggs from Pokemon. I have a slime that drops an orb-like object. The orb has a chance of hatching into a pet slime. Cool. I'm thinking we use custom apply effect. On the state, right? So it'll award the same state no matter what. That's easily handled through the engine. And then the state determines what's going to happen. Don't forget to add to your hunger variable. You're right. You're right, Royal. It will give you some, even if it gives you some other negative effects. So I'm just looking at what the syntax is to use the when a state is applied, and I'm thinking that's in the note tag of the state that says custom apply or custom apply effect. Right here, this. Yeah, so let's take this. We'll have to come back to this to do something else. But when this state is applied, and only when it's applied, not every turn, we're going to have it do some things, right? We're going to have it add to, darn it, we're going to have it add to the variable to give us some food. Game. We could do plus plus. I think it's 10. I need to check. I need to see what variable I'm using again. Seven. I'm using 7, and 36,000 is 10 minutes. So we'll check this. What am I doing? 7. So we're going to create a temporary variable, and we're going to set its current hunger to the current value of 7. And we're going to say variable new hunger equals maybe we don't need current hunger. I'm so scatterbrained. And I don't need to capitalize this anymore. Value of 7 plus however much time we wanted to add, right? If we wanted to add a second, we'd have to add 60 to that variable. We're not going to do that. We need to add more than that. Like what, a minute? 2 minutes? 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So that would be 60 times 60 times 2, 7,200. And then we can go game variables dot set value of 7 to new hunger, and we don't need current hunger at all, actually. I mean, we could just say current hunger plus now that we have it defined. But we can make this code more optimized by deleting this and just putting this right here. You know what? It's cleaner this way. But it's more optimized the other way. It doesn't matter. We're going to create a variable. Current hunger is set to this value. The new hunger is the current hunger plus however many frames. And then we set the variables of this to the new hunger. So we're changing our variable. So that's our first part of this. We'll call it moldy cheese. State, that's when it's applied. Let's find some moldy cheese. Surely these tiles have moldy cheese in them. What did I use? This orange rock. Did I use this? No, yeah, let's change it. I want to use this one. Looks better. So it's going to add moldy cheese 100% of the time when you eat it. price is, what, 500? It is consumable, always. Which means we have to give it an animation if we wanted to do something in combat. Scope is 1 ally, so the person who eats it gets the state. That lets us get out of calling a common event for it and trying to figure out who used the cheese. Too much for a moldy cheese? Nah. This is what this game is all about. Now that we have Sugar Zuzu, how are you? How was your weekend? 500 coins for a stinky cheese? Well, it's an item drop. The reason why I'm saying 500 is the rarity of the item really. It's 10% drop from the enemy Tunnel Rat, which is our level 5 enemy, gets 500 experience, and like that's just sort of the theme I'm going with. The item exact thing is, it's not like realistic, right? It's a game. Like a rat tail is obviously not worth 500, but it's going for 500. I'm not going for Dungeons and Dragons style of like everything's got to be. It's just a fantasy game. Like it's really arbitrary. That's what I'm getting at. It just doesn't matter really. Alright, so we have our custom apply effect, but it's still not doing anything, right? We have to decide if it's going to be a rat's tail is worth a lot to a certain dragon. Got him. So we'll make this last 10 turns. We can make that variable too. But I think we'll be fine with this. It's going to remove after 10 turns. Will be a little variable, 8 to 10 turns. Now we need to go back to the buffs and states core, which after a certain version update, you can do that from here. And we need to look at when we want this effect to trigger. Custom conclude effect. This is the final effect to be run after the battler selects the target and will occur after a hit, a miss, evade, confirmation, and damage execution. This is what we want. So after the turn has taken place, we're going to use a custom conclude effect. And what it can do is set the players. Maybe the moldy cheese can add other states that wear off quick. What do we want it to do? That's the question. At the end of the player's turn, what's going to happen? Like a positive or a negative, and it's not like decided from the beginning. Craig, what's up, the Unpro Pro? Thank you for coming to the stream. How are you doing? How was your weekend? We don't have to decide like, oh, the player eats the moldy cheese and now they're sick for 8 turns. It could be they ate the moldy cheese and they get bonuses or detriments at the end of each turn, depending. One whole episode for cheese incoming. Cheese deserves more than an entire episode. And I've actually done like little mini tutorials in here. People ask questions. Mine was great. It was fantastic. Custom conclude effect. We can roll a random in here, and then depending on that random, we can have it do, we'll do a conditional, and it can do multiple things depending on that. Let's see. Var rando equals math.random. That'll give us between 0 and 1, right? And so we'll go if rando, and we'll need to use comparison operators, greater than equal to 0.5, and we'll say else, right? User.addState 21 user.addState 22. Will that work? Maybe. And we'll make a... Now obviously the cheese state needs substates. Cheese regen. Good cheese and bad cheese. And we can distinguish by color. Moldy cheese would probably look more like that or something. Good cheese, bad cheese. What if after consuming enough moldy food, the character gains a permanent passive resistance to poison? I don't think this is cheesy enough. Yeah, we need more. Right, we're gonna have cheese substates. So if the random number goes over 0.5, we're gonna get good cheese. Otherwise, we get bad cheese. When we have good cheese, it's going to be a simple 2 to 3 turn. Or actually, because it's going to happen every turn, 1 to 2 turns. Or we could just have it 1 turn, right? It'll apply and wear off. And what this will do is we can have it do HP regen. That's pretty simple, right? 10% HP regen. And something else. Not just regen, but something else too. State rate. We can say that when good cheese happens, when good cheese happens, we'll be 50% resistant to Dirty Bite, and we'll get a parameter buff of our endurance by 10%. Simple, easy, nothing crazy. But when bad cheese happens, the opposite goes on. Our HP regeneration will be negative 10%, and will be more susceptible to Dirty Bite, and will lose 10% of our defense. Very minor. The regeneration is the big thing, because 10% is a lot. But this will be removed at the end of the battle, and it will also be removed at the end of a turn. So this only happens one turn, one turn, one turn. Good cheese and bad cheese. So I don't know, I think that might work. We need to make this a battle only cheese. It's battle cheese. Maybe some Ace Bright today should be cheese. I think you're right, Royal. We're gonna have to draw some cheese. Let's test it out. We need to test this out. We're gonna add moldy cheese, which does other things, I hope. It should. Let me look over again. Oh, it needs a state animation. We need to do a state animation. State animation, as well as a custom animation. Moldy cheese needs a custom animation. That's not the right one. Let's just find one. Animation for this, the moldy cheese and the it's holy, sanctified moldy cheese. Let's change this up to orange. Where's our orange? Where's the cheddar color? There we go. The starlight sound effects. We can do the nom nom nom, right? And then starlight. I don't know, that's kind of funny. I like that one. Skill. I mean, that one actually works, but I want to switch it up. There we go. Get rid of the screen flashes. We don't need that. That's fine. We can get rid of frame 1 and probably other frames at the end. Nope. Just the first frame. Devin Scott, what's up with you, my man? How was your weekend? They chuck cheese at you? No, you eat the cheese and then the cheese has a custom apply effect that gives us hunger bar, and then at the end of the turn it rolls a random number, and depending on that random number it's going to add a state it's going to add a state of good cheese. It's going to add one of the sub-states for moldy cheese. Good cheese or bad cheese. Now, I don't know if this is the correct syntax, user dot, inside of here, but we're going to find out. I hope it works, but I don't know if it's going to. We'll make it last 8 to 9 turns. That's a long effect, but we'll see. We could even have the state itself do something, but we'll add that if this actually works. What we need to do is test it, so let's go ahead and set up our initialization event to just give us some. So we'll copy this, paste this, and edit the fishing poles so that it gives us moldy cheese, a bunch of them. And let's just test it really quick. You dealt with the police all week. Oh, I also changed the color. What happened? What happened? Devin, are you breaking the law? Or is it just, are you just a victim of circumstance? Help us, Edmund. You're our only hope. Snut, 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 snut. Alright, so we didn't give it, we didn't assign it the right animation, did we? No, we forgot stuff, because of course we did. Animation moldy cheese is 183, so common events. Oh, we need to go to items, moldy cheese, assign this to 183, and then we need to go back to animations, copy this one we made, paste it here, and we need to batch the entire thing and change the scale down to like 33%. Boom. And get rid of the sound effects. And the target flashes doesn't need to be there. Maybe one target flash. Apply that. Seems a little high. We may need to shift it down. Let's add 50. Let's shift it down and add another 50. Okay, let's try that. This is the moldy cheese state anim. So then we go to our states and we do state anim. What was it, 184? Yes. Okay. Now we try. Question, anyone here played Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne and know about the turn press system? Can it be used in RPG Maker? I don't know, I haven't played that game. I've heard of it. I haven't played it though. Shin Megami Tensei. You know, it seems like they added Sound Cypher's speed up scripts to the core engine. The game just has that for events. In the 1.6, maybe even earlier. 1.61. Let's find something easy. Drifty, when I said this will be a whole episode about one cheese item, I was joking, but here you go actually doing it. Moldy cheese! Okay. Hey, it gave us the state! It did the thing! We actually got the cheese effect. Oh, did I put on the same character? Yeah. I gained 30 HP and it wore off. Let's put moldy cheese on Jinx. Oh no, this turn he got the negative state effect, so he's gonna lose 10% HP. Oh, it works! It works, guys! How does it work the first time? That's fantastic. Let's see if there's bugs. I'm sure there's bugs, right? State animation looks good too. It's just working. It's just working. Does it wear off at the end of combat? No, it stays, right? The other ones do. So the first turn, I like this. The first turn it doesn't do anything. It applies the state. And this makes sense because when you first eat something, you don't have immediate effects usually. You have to metabolize it first. So that first turn is the player metabolizing the cheese. And then you get the effect. I also got my pet system working. Awesome, Silver. It's fantastic. Okay, I think we're done. We figured it out. Weapon Unleash! Yes, good way to end that. Cool. Nice. Now we need to add that to the vendors. Change the random merchant around so that it can pick random sets of items. Let me go to the town and adjust the random merchant a bit. At the beginning of the game, if you're quick enough, you can buy everything for a minute. So let's, well, not everything. Everything that's not drop only. And technically moldy cheese is drop only, but you know, it's a drop item. But I'm going to make an exception for this one item. and I'll put it in another set. So I'll copy this, paste this, edit this. Actually, hold on. Undo that. Let's copy the entire condition as well. Paste another condition. When merchant selection goes to 7, then we need to have food ration available all times. But I'm going to change this from iron ingot to moldy cheese. Change the fishing pole to a wooden log. Change the ripe orange into a fresh apple. Change the salt into a diamond. And that'll work. I also need to change the possibility of the roll to so that it can hit 7. So we'll go here and change this so that when it rolls a random number, it can go from 1 to 7. I have to go to the bathroom, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm going to play an ad. It probably won't play anyway, but I'll be right back. Alright, I think we can move on. Let's award that to the enemies. Tunnel Rat can drop the moldy cheese. 10%. And we're left with one more item to make. The uncommon drop for a shadow bat. Let's make it guano. Let's make some guano. Bat guano. I mean, why not? It's a useful resource. We're not gonna make this one consumable though. A useful resource. It comes from bats. Don't worry about how it comes. Don't worry about how it's created. I'm gonna just copy paste it. It can be sold or used to craft items. All of this cheese reminds me of Dragon Quest VIII, many kinds of cheese, and it can be OP. The bat poop can fertilize your future crops. Oh, that is a great idea, Royal. Because we're going to do that. We can use that to make, as a crafting, to make the fertilizer. I love it. It's fantastic. Okay. Do you smoke? No. I don't smoke. I used to vape. Used to blow big fat clouds. But I just gave that up too. Well, when I was 22, I think, 23, I smoked cigarettes. And then I smoked for like 5 years. And then I quit. And I haven't smoked since. And then I vaped for like 3 years. Wait, no. I vaped for like... I quit everything for a few years, and then I started vaping for like 3 years. And I quit vaping about a year ago. Let's award the guano to the shadow bat at a 10% drop rate. It's the uncommon. Double checking, we have a 50%, a 10%, or 1% drop on every creature. We didn't award the drop to the fox. What did we make for the fox? Whisker. There we go. So why we double check? Nice. We don't have the skills created for the Chimerico. We have the start of it, I suppose. This will be battle screen, one enemy, attack move. It generates 15 TP. We'll say uses. And it'll be HP damage, a physical HP damage, A.ATK times, what did I go, 3? Minus the B.DEF. Endurance. Can critical, simple, move. A back, let's see, a goat leg to the face. Generates 15 TP. Devin says, make a rare item that gives levitation at the beginning of battle. Devin Scott still having his question. What are you talking about? Hold on. Was I in the bathroom? He says, random question, but can an item be made that gives a random buff every turn? Yeah, of course. Sure you could. Do you want me to show you? I mean, this episode's all over the place anyway. I mean... like a bunch of little mini tutorials and experiments. Alright, we gotta think of some skills for Chimerico. He says, yeah, okay. Well, I'm thinking of some skills. I'm thinking of like a fire breath or aqua breath. What we'll do with like corrosive damage and something else. But in the meantime, a state that awards other states will use the same principle that we're using moldy cheese, right? When you do, you'll add like a custom conclude effect inside the state, and this state will be, just for an example, prismatic state. And prismatic state will be removed at the end of battle. It doesn't have to be, but we're going to make it that way. And it's going to last for 3 to 5 turns. That means it's going to apply 3 to 5 different states. And we'll do a math.random, and what we'll do is, if it is however many states we want it to add, we can have it do 10. We'll start off with 10. Let's get some music going again. So we'll say if it's greater than equal to 9, else if it's greater than rando is greater than equal to 0.8. And here we continue the else if rando is greater than equal to 0.7. User.add state 23 or whatever we want. And what we could do is just copy paste this. Come on, there we go. Like that. And then we change the numbers. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the final one, we just do else. So if it's less than 0.1, else user.add state. Now we have to pick, else you die. You can add knockout. That's great. If it rolls under 0.1, it knocks you out. 5 positive, 5 negative. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 states. We'll start at the top. We'll do positives first. So if it rolls high, you get good stuff, right? What's the first positive state we can get? Enlightened. So that is 12. And then you have fortitude, which is 13. And then you have irradiate. Then you have concentrate. Then you have good cheese, I guess. That's going to wear off quick, but it's still a positive state. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And then we can have 4 be bad cheese. It's still a negative state. So that's 1, and then we have to add... We'll make it also have a chance to knock out, so we have to pick 3 more negative states. We'll say poison, So that'll be 4. Blind, that's 5. And confusion, that's 8. So it can knock you out, it can confuse you, it could give you 1 round of negative 10% HP. Can poison, blind, confuse, knock you out, or give you negative HP regen. But it could also give you positive regen for a single turn. It could give you Enlighten, Fortitude, and Radiate, Concentrate. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, that should work. We do have to end this like that to finish the encapsulation. And this will apply, we'll say 4 to 5. So this prismatic state. And now we just need a way to award prismatic state, right? Let's make an item called Strange Liquid. Strange Liquid. Let's make it a red color. This is more ominous. This will apply the actual substance is unknown. It could do many different things. And we'll make it consumable, but only in battle. And it'll be consumable for 1 ally. It's a regular item. Let's give it a quick animation. Not too long, just a quick one. Copy this, the death animation. We can even have it play custom animations depending on what it rolls and further elaborate. Well, let's change the death one to something different like this. Nah, not that one. We're gonna change the sound effects too. Here we go. I like this one. Let's do this. Yeah, let's change the stare sound effect. That, and then the darkness thing, change it to and we'll get rid of the screen flash. Just make a target. And get rid of all these screens and targets, doesn't matter. Just like that. Frame 9. Make this frame 8. I'm actually going to shift this one, no, batch this one, and reduce the size a bit to 75. And then actually make, this is called prismatic state. And then we'll copy this, paste it here, and call this prismatic state animation. And we'll shift this, batch this to be 25%. So it's very tiny, but it'll keep repeating. Now on the state, we'll give it a state animation. State animation 186, I don't remember. Yeah, and 185 will be the strange liquid. We'll repeat the process, and in the initialization event, award some of these. This could also have a value of 5,000. Because it could do, well, it's, you know what, 1,000 is fine. I'll change it. I don't even know where I'm going to award the strange liquid. This is just to answer another tutorial question. And to test to see if it works. Yeah, it'll definitely be in the crafting system. That's a good idea. We have plenty of drop items to make combinations of items like strange liquids that'll add stuff like that. So we'll have items that are risky. They're not always a benefit or a detriment, but you have to decide, and RNG will play a factor. Battle music. Alright. Item. Strange liquid. Item. Strange liquid. Did I give it a state icon? I don't think I gave it an icon. Oh, I also messed up. Strange liquid needs to actually award the state that we created. How about that? How about that? Have it actually award the state. And check the state to see if we gave it an icon. We did. It just didn't award the state. So prismatic. We could give it the icon of the potion. It makes sense, right? Because we drank it from a potion. Try again. Snut, snut, snut. Strange liquid. Wow. There it is. Strange liquid. What did it give us? I don't know. It didn't seem to give us anything. I might have got something wrong in the code. It looks like I did. Okay. Custom conclude effect. Custom conclude effect. Can you have the strange liquid tell you what you got for the effect? Yeah. You can just go, you can add things to this thing. You can go like game messages. Game message.add, I think this is it. You got enlightened. I wonder if you can use state note tags here. Maybe not. I don't know if you can. Otherwise, because I'm using a backslash, I may need to do 2 backslashes as well. Will you continue SRPG Studio, please? Yes, I will continue SRPG Studio. I have a lot of things I'm doing right now. And you would repeat this message for all of them, but you would just change the number. This would be annoying, I think, though. But for the sake of trying to get it to work. I don't mind. Trying it out, you know. Or you could even use script calls in this eval to do a gap window pop up. That makes more sense. But hold on, I'm too invested already. I need to figure out why it doesn't work in the first place. And then I need to see how the messages look, and then I need to look up how to use, instead of a plugin command, a script call to do force gab and all that stuff. And then you can have this tell you what it added with a gab window, if that even works in battle. Does gab window work in battle? That's another question. You got knockout. Custom conclude effect. So at the turn end, you have prismatic state, and then when this custom conclude effect at the end of your turn, no matter if you missed, attacked, whatever, evaded, when you go, and whatever you do, it should run this code, create a variable, and set its value between 0 and 1. If the variable is greater than or equal to 0.9, it should add the state to the user and show a message. Otherwise, if it's greater than or equal to 0.8, same thing happens, but a different state and a different message. But it didn't seem to work, right? What was the problem? Where are my coders at? This seems very simple. It should be working. Am I missing something? Let's take this and put this where I can get a better look at it. And sometimes that helps. Let's go ahead and create a new thing here. And just paste it here. Custom conclude effect. We could also put this in a parser. Let's take this code and put it into JS parser. JS parser online. I'm going to use JS lint for this. Just paste it in here and lint it. Oh! Another problem. We need to use double quotes, right? Wait, can't I just do find and replace? Find, replace instances of that with that. Replace all. There we go, fixed it. What else was it? Expected/s. I should probably show you guys what I'm looking at. Put in the code here, right? It tells you this. Expected/s and sol dot dot. Do you think there's too many exceptions? Should I do a switch statement? In the case of this, nah. I don't know, let's just paste it back and try again. We made some changes. Ahmed says, how do you program the post-battle trappy chest in an RPG? Say you finish a battle and then a chest appears. You can attempt to disarm it, but if you fail, you get a random bad effect. There's a million ways to do that. You can have that strange liquid tell you what you got for the effect. Yeah. Most painful part of RPG making? Yeah, there's tons of bugs. You gotta watch out, Omni. That auto cucumber will get you. Can you imagine if we talked with like an autocorrect? It'd be so funny. Okay, I'm gonna replace this with the updated code. But I didn't appear to change like the, I don't know. Because I just added to it and it already didn't work, so that wasn't the best approach. I need to take out until you figure out the problem. Quick. Edmund Quick is his name. Edmund Quick! There's a bridge that I want the party to travel over and under it. That can be tricky. It's possible, though. Strange liquid. I hope it does something. It should have already done something on the first turn, I think. At the end of your turn, right? Yep, does nothing. It's not awarding any state. Strange liquid, what does it do? Nobody knows. It's doing nothing. Nothings. Which I don't understand, to be honest with you. Custom conclude effect. Is it too much for it to process? I'm gonna take out like a bunch of it. I'm gonna take out, hold on, I'll take out from here and just leave this. I'm gonna cut it. In case I forget. So now all it's doing is, it's doing less things, right? It's checking to see if it rolls over 0.9, over 0.8, over 0.7, and if not, it kills you. 4 things. Was it too long, or was there a syntax error? I don't see any syntax error, that's the thing. Gab window works in battle, so we could make it gab window instead of show game message. Gotta stop and play the piano a little bit. Nailed it. Strange Liquid, do something now. Work. Work, 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 work. Nah, it would have done something at the end of the first turn, I believe. It's not doing anything. It just doesn't do anything. So something is fundamentally wrong, which I don't understand because it's the same code as moldy cheese, right? It's the same thing as moldy cheese, but moldy cheese is working. Do you see that? Moldy cheese works, but we're doing the same code for an item that does multiple stuff. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. What? What? What is different? What is different from the moldy cheese? Let's see. Priority's different. Remove at the end of battle. This one has a custom apply. Does it need a custom apply? This is something completely different then. Let's make it only 2 things. Maybe it can't handle else if. Can the eval of custom conclude not handle else if? That we might have figured it out. Let's see, because we're not using else if, are we? We're just using else. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's get rid of all instances of else if. But then we have to change it. It won't work the same. Oh, we can use the AND operator. We have to use... I got it, guys. I got it. Let's write it out in Sublime instead. Okay. So we can't use else if. We're going to go custom conclude effect var rando equals math dot random. We'll use if rando is greater than equal to 0.9, then we can have it user.add state 12, same thing. Right, that's all the same. Could have copy pasted that. Else. No, we can't use else. because then we have to say else if, which it can't use else if. Can it have multiple conditions? If rando is greater than 0.8 and rando is less than 0.9, then do that. Is this how we have to do it? I think so. So let's just plug in the numbers. And instead of doing the game message add, we'll use gab window for it. So this is 13. And we copy paste this now. Now we should speed up. And 13 goes to 14. Paste this again. And 14 goes to 16. Copy paste this again. And 16 goes to 21. Copy paste this again. And 21 goes to 22. And copy paste, it goes to 4. Copy paste, it goes to 5. Copy paste, it goes to 8. Copy paste, it goes to 1. And then we type in custom conclude effect and give it the animation effect. Save that. Actually, we don't even need to save it, it's fine. Custom conclude effect, double checking for syntax errors, which I always do. Open, close, open, close, open, close. It was copy pasted, so it should be the same. We're using the AND operator. So let's copy this entire thing, go into the game and replace it all. Because the only difference between this thing and this thing is we're using else if. And maybe it can't handle that. Oh, we have to make one difference. Okay, I messed up. Something tells me we're not going to see an Ace Bright cheese today. Oh, I know. Hold on. Coding bugs. The syntax destroys me. Okay, so if it's greater than 0.8 but less than 0.9, that's right. If it's greater than 0.7 but less than 0.8, greater than 0.6 but less than 0.7, then 7, 8, or no, wait, what? 9, 8, 9, 7, 8, 6, 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, greater than 0 but less than 0.1. We could make that an else, but I don't even want to mess with else right now. Apply that to prismatic state. Alright, this might work. IGMC, I don't know if I don't think I'm going to submit this for IGMC. I'm just going to keep working on it and put it on Steam when it's ready. It'll be probably 2019 at some point. Strange liquid, do something good. It worked! It gave me Irradiate, strange liquid. Gave me concentration effect. Attack. And I got the cheese effect. Attack. And we got Empower, or Enlightened effect. We got the cheese effect again. Chaos Orb, we should probably kill him with the concentration. That's a double buff. That buff worked in our favor. Hey, we did it! We freaking did it! Concentration. Chaos Orb, kill it. And a critical. Concentrate with Chaos Orb is overpowered. But they can't get it unless they have the 1 out of 100 drop, or they use the item. Anyway. Strange liquid. Probably gonna die. We're way under level. Got Irradiate. Chomp. Goodbye. We did it! That's how you do it! That's how you do it! Let me copy paste the code for Prismatic State. Here you go. Copy this. You'll have to change it up, Devin. Can I put it here? 660 out of 200. You can only... Okay. It doesn't let me put it in the chat. How about I just put like the basic idea of how it works? Like I'll go like this, copy this, paste this, and then at the end you'll need to have like this going on. Will all of this fit? Come on, fit for me. Yes! 197 out of 200. Oops. Remove the HTML tags and try again. Edit and retry. Okay. I'm going to change... I can't use HTML tags, so I'm just going to remove them, and you'll see where they go. Which are brackets. They don't let brackets go in. That's the general idea. Now we have a new skill, or not skill, an item that the player can craft. And as I make more skills, I can expand upon this. And fine-tune it, and fix any other bugs that arise. That worked out in perfect timing. A-Sprite! We didn't do A-Sprite. We have to do... Today is the cheese A-Sprite. 30... It's going to go into the icon set.
I have a question.
We're going to... I need something cool. Let's get a palette for the cheese. We need a cheese icon to go with our icon. I need something to look at, but I don't really have anything. Here we go, this is fine. Oh no, don't open the palette folder, just select that, thank you. Okay, let's go with this cheese. We could do a wheel of cheese too. A quick A-Sprite piece of cheese. I hope you're not expecting too much. I think the outline is fine. We'll just fill it in here. So this episode was a little bit all over the place. But you know what? Sometimes game dev is very random. You don't know what you're going to be working on. When you're the programmer, the art designer, the game designer, the sound designer, some days are going to be all over the place. It's something you just have to accept, really. That does not look like cheese, I'll tell you that. What's this stuff going on in the middle? I don't know. That looks closer. Hey, that's cheese. That's cheese, as cheese as it's gonna get. This episode wasn't cheesy enough. You know what, Devin? I'll put it on the Discord. I'll copy paste the entire buff state score effect to the Discord. Let me save this sprite and I'll put it on Discord for you. For those of you who are interested in getting stuff like this, come hang out on the Discord. Links in the description below. Let's export this as a PNG. We're going to call it DG_cheese. .png. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go into Photoshop. Open up the game's IMG system. Icon set.png. We'll zoom in with Control Space and left click. Thank you, Royal, for that. And go to the bottom. And we will also, or we can just click place. We don't have to open and copy paste. What we can do is go to where we saved that A sprite, take it, and then we can place it. It's 32 by 32, so it should fit snug in one of those. Just like that. And say OK. File, save this as a PNG, overwriting the original. Hit OK. Boom. And then we can go back into the game. We can hit save, open this back up, and we can have a cheese sound or icon right there. Good cheese. You know what we could do is tint. We can place the same image and tint it. Instead of using the rock, looks more like clay. Let's place the same image again. We'll place it right here this time. Yeah, but on this layer, we're going to do a blending option. Nope. We're going to do a adjustment, hue saturation. We'll change the hue. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Edit undo. We need to put this right here at the bottom and this underneath it if we want to do it that way. You can do it other ways too. Not exactly the effect I was hoping for. Let's undo some stuff here. Undo, undo, undo. Let's click on green. We can change the way it draws it. That's not going to change very much. Hold on. Let me undo all the changes I made until it takes the cheese away. I don't know what I'm doing, obviously. Alright, file place again. The same cheese object. Maybe we need a different adjustment for it. We could put a filter. Color balance. Here we go. Let's take this and change the color balance to a green. It needs contrast. There we go. That's all I wanted. Channel mixer. That's what I'm using for it. There's our green. Okay, we'll copy this. Paste it here. Can we do that? No? Alright, let's try it this way then. Take this, copy it, create a new layer, paste it, take this, highlight it correctly. Click this to move it over here. Okay. Channel mixer. What? Why is it monochroming still? Turn off monochrome. Selective color. Greens. You know I don't mess with these very often. Step forward. We could do the same thing, I guess. I'm just trying different ideas to see what works best. We'll change the mixer again. That's fine. Save this one as a PNG. I just wanted a few variations, so now we have a couple of variations. Let me zoom out. Looks fine. Bad cheese is going to be, oh, we have to go, okay, save the game, reload, reopen the database. Bad cheese icon set is going to be this one. Good cheese is going to be that one. Moldy cheese will be this third one. kind of moldy cheese looks like this one. We'll make bad cheese be this one. Moldy cheese, good cheese, bad cheese. Even though that still looks kind of like good cheese. It looks like Munster cheese. But it's a variation, so it works. That bad cheese looks delicious. Moldy cheese can switch from the rock icon to our custom green cheese. We did it! We did our A spread of the day. Whew! A little bit of problems in Photoshop. We're getting there. Cheese or the weirdest Doritos ever, says Alexander. Let me catch up on chat. Oh yeah, I was going to copy paste that code for you. So add this to a state. Make sure you have the buff states core. And change it up, obviously. This is the moldy cheese. I'll put it in the code dump. And here's the prismatic state. You know, this isn't exactly what I expected to be getting done in Monday's episode, but it certainly was a lot of fun. We jumped around quite a bit, but we did our A spread of the day. We did some coding today. We did a bunch of special request mini tutorials, and we talked about concepts and ideas. We got to hang out and work on our projects together, and those of you who are unable to work on your project, at least maybe you got some inspiration so you'd want to work on your project. I don't know, maybe that's useful to you. That's where I got to end the live stream for today. Join me tomorrow, every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm live streaming. You guys are awesome. Remember to stay awesome. Keep doing your thing, whatever that thing is. Enjoy it. And if you need a break, take a break. But don't take a break too long, right? Got some inspiration to not work? Thanks, Alexander. It wasn't that hard. I mean, we had some bugs. We fixed some bugs. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I am @DriftwoodGaming. If you like to support what I do, there's a Patreon page, patreon.com/DriftwoodGaming. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, that'd be appreciated if you're not already. Like this video if you liked it. If you like things, please like this video. Appreciate that if you do. We'll see you guys in the next stream. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye. Join the Discord. Alexander, the Artisan Travado, Royal Crown Code, Athlion, A the Lion 123 or Athlion, Athelion, Whiteley, Silver Starlight. Reminds me of some Gouda or stinky cheese. That red one looks like Munster to me. Looks delicious. Devin Scott, Omni Slash, K Zayman, Royal, Puka. What does Drifty do on the weekend? Mostly play Path of Exile. Do the lawn sometimes. I take care of peppers. I'm breeding crickets now, but that's sort of like a daily thing. Not doing a lot of fall plants, but usually I'm taking care of gardening stuff. Various other things. Shopping. Stuff that I have to do. Other things that I have to do that I don't really want to do, but I just do them because I have more time on the weekends. I sleep in more. I get up at 9 a.m. every morning, except on the weekends, which is between 10 and noon sometimes, usually. Yeah, I usually have good weekends. Luckily. Ahmed, thank you for joining. Loxin, everybody who came to the stream, Reaper, Eiichiro. I will use SRPG Studio more. I will put more tutorials out. Got a lot on my plate, but it's not gone forever. I'll add more tutorials as I'm inspired to do so. I didn't spend $60 on the engine for nothing. I definitely haven't recouped that on ad revenue for those. Maybe I have. I know they will, and I've only put a few tutorials out. Sugar Zuzu, Intamin, Fanboys Coaster Club, and then goes everybody else. Defender X, Unpro, Craig, thank you for coming. Heartless, XA, for fun. Everybody I missed, I gotta go, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.